Brett's bag of the week. In this rather large Rubik's World bag.
What's in there? There's something hanging out of it.
Got a wing. It's got a wing. I can confirm it does have a wing. Now, our lead representative in South Australia for HB, Mark Lawlaw, is also the president of the club over there.
Yes.
Southern Districts, something or other. It's the Adelaide Off-Road, 1/8 Off-Road Club. Sent me his buggy to have a run of. Now, it didn't have this body on it.
Didn't it?
And this, oh, I'm hooked. There we go. This buggy is a HB Racing E817. So it's actually really quite old.
Right.
And to say it needed a rebuild, excuse me while I just take the lid off.
Should we go through the top?
To say it needed a rebuild is very much an understatement. This thing was pretty rickety. There wasn't a straight drive shaft to be seen.
It was a bit floppy.
There's the wing off it. There's
there's the original wing.
There's a chassis brace.
Now, chassis braces are usually
Straightish.
Straightish. Well, the ones I've seen are normally like dead straight.
Dead straight.
Yeah. This one is not. This one, if I threw it, will probably come back. What else you got there?
So there is some, and this isn't to belittle or, I'm not trying to disrepute Mark here.
Well, this just show how much punishment they go through.
And he was still racing this.
Yeah.
He was still absolutely racing it. I don't know if we can get it on the overhead.
What are we doing?
You can zoom in on some of those critical parts.
Oh, okay. Let's go tight, yeah? We're going tight? How tight are we going? What are we looking at here? We're looking at an arm. So I guess the arms would normally sag anyway, right? Because there's a lot of weight. I remember when I was running my truggy, we tried to unload the suspension because the arms would bend. Yes,
over time. So you really wouldn't want to sit it on wheels, preferably.
Yep.
When you're not using it, but the plastic does actually age.
Yeah. Well, the carbon split there as well.
Well, that's probably more impact, but a combination of repetitive impact, big impact, and old age, they do. So that's the original HB carbon fiber. Well, it's an optional upgrade.
Yep.
You can see it's flexed that much, it's broken the carbon.
Yeah, so that's the front arm.
That's the front arm.
Here's the rear arm.
Yep.
This has got the plastic insert.
It's got the plastic inserts in the rear arm.
Yep, so that's popped out a little bit. So it's gone through the screw.
And this track was still, like I said, racing competitively on the track.
Yep.
So now, needless to say, the buggy's got fresh arms on it. Here's a drive shaft. Again, usually pretty straight.
But it'll still operating with this like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just shows, they do go through quite a lot of biffage.
And they can take it.
Yeah.
Like they still hadn't DNF'd.
Well, particularly if it's a half-hour final or a 1 hour final, you need to just keep going, don't you?
Yeah.
You don't have time to fix that.
And this is an electric car, so it's not going to go with an hour final. But you know what I mean? But they are based off the buggy that can do that.
That's right.
The Nitro.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, like I said, it came in for a bit of a birthday, and it's something that I enjoy. And I can't take the sole responsibility for it. I had another one of the Victorian team, Tommy Huggins, helped me out as well on this one. Because it does take many an hour. This servo, you can see it was still operating. And that is pretty, I want to say munted.
What did you say?
Not sure. Munted? Is that a...
Well, it looks like you've been chewing on it.
Pretty well.
Is that what munted means?
Yeah.
Well, munted just means like not in the state that should be.
Probably. Yeah. But it was still operational. But I couldn't give it back to him like that.
No.
So we can zoom out now. So that's just some of the worn parts that have gone into rebuilding this buggy. And you can see now it's got a 9-steps LiPo in there, a 4S LiPo battery with XT90 plugs.
Yeah.
We've obviously got the dash 2150 kV motor in there with the dash AI Max speed controller. We've got a brand new highest B210 servo, mated to the HB Racing alloy servo horn that was already on there.
Yep.
We've upgraded with the HB Racing aluminium servo mount to keep it all nice and stiff. This Exotech mount was already in. New chassis brace, obviously, not shaped like a boomerang.
Yep.
And yeah, new drive shafts throughout, complete re-bearings, polished shock shafts, some new plastics. So to take some of the slop out, you can see the wear and tear on the turnbuckles. Like it's definitely not showroom fresh.
You like polishing shock shafts, don't you?
Yes, and hinge pins. If you
And
can
hinge
have
pins.
a look in the hinge pin. Like that's the turnbuckle, but if we
Where's
go,
the hinge pin? Where can we see that?
See that?
Oh
little bit
yeah, I
of-
can see a bit there. Have you polished that?
yeah, see it in here.
Yeah, it's a bit shiny.
So that's obviously where it goes
I
through
can see your
the D block.
distorted face in it.
Can you? Well, that's more about my face than that. Obviously rebuilt all the fluid filled, the oil filled diffs, all original cases. Yeah, rewired it. And like I said, I did some of it. Tommy Huggins did some of it, and then we've put the finishing touches on.
That was good, no? It's all
And this
freshened
thing-
up.
It is freshened up and ready for. So E817 would have come out in 2017, 2018. So this buggy is going on 5 or 6 years old.
Yep.
Yeah,
But it's still just as competitive.
still just as competitive. So which is really good, and this will serve Mark now for another. You can see here his track. He runs on a high oil track. It is really quite gentle on the chassis as far as being abrasive.
Yeah. There's no
You
deep.
notice on the cars that we run here in Melbourne, like we've got a few rocks and stuff in the track, so it really
Yeah, it
does
tears it up.
tear up the chassis. Whereas on the high oiled, it's like racing on cookie dough, sort of. You know what I mean? It's quite gentle on the chassis. You can see here all new arms, of course. All spruced up, but it's still originally like the crux of the car, the diffs, the shocks, everything like that is original.
Did you
Some
say
of the
crux?
crux of the car, the bones of the car. It's had some new shock shafts. A couple of shock shafts have been, but it is ready to go. So I hope Mark's happy with it. I'm sure he will be. It's taken many hours of work, and I'm really going to enjoy him smashing it to bits again. And he's going to get the Hearns Racing wing and body to go with it. So that's a little present from us.
Yep.
And I look forward to seeing it out on track again.
It'll be a bit of a monster, I think.
It's going to be pretty cool, isn't it? It's going to be pretty cool. Now.